Today is August 23rd, 2023. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, a few things today. Hopefully I can get them all in my allotted time. First off, there's a trial going on in Washington, D.C. Started about 2 weeks ago. 5 pro-lifers have been charged and are on trial for violating the FACE Act. We talked months ago about Mark Houck, the guy from Philadelphia who was arrested for violating the FACE Act when he pushed somebody down outside of a Planned Parenthood abortion clinic. And if found guilty, he was going to get 11 years in prison, and a jury acquitted him. But so we have the same charge, violating the FACE Act. That's Freedom of Access for Clinic Entrances Act. If you block an entrance to an abortion clinic or prevent an employee from allowing a client to come in, you're in violation of the FACE Act. Well, 5 people, actually it was originally 9 people were arrested about a year ago. And there's going to be a second trial coming up in September for the last 4. So this first trial covers 5 people. And I do want to read a little bit from this one pro-life website. It kind of sets the stage a little bit. It says, last March, forgive me if I'm reading, but last March, some of the rescuers currently on trial were given 115 aborted babies by the driver of a medical waste van outside this one doctor's late-term abortion facility. He performs late-term abortions. The murdered human babies were well-developed, second and possibly third trimester. Their remains are still in a vault at the D.C. Medical Examiner's office. The charges are not related to those remains, but stem from actions taken by those pro-lifers in response to what they had seen and could never unsee. In October 2020, about 2 months after the remains were obtained, the 9 pro-lifers blocked the entrance of the facility. And there's a video that shows this when they kind of came into the clinic and they were arrested. So are they in violation of the FACE Act? A jury's going to decide. But they did this in response to the horrific images. More than an image, it was the actual fetal remains of 115 babies that had been aborted at this one man's abortion clinic. And there's a certain level of righteous indignation that rises up when you see such barbarity. So I'll leave it with that. More will come out in this trial as well as the next trial. But it's not quite the same thing as what this Mark Houck faced earlier in the year when he was acquitted. It's not quite the same thing. Okay, today the South Carolina Supreme Court upheld the state's heartbeat law. It was signed by the governor earlier this year, challenged by pro-abortion people, and in a 5-1 ruling, the court upheld the heartbeat law. It says the majority ruled that women do have a right to bodily autonomy and privacy, but that those rights do not outweigh the interests of the unborn child to live. So that is great news coming out of South Carolina. Number 3, tonight is the first GOP presidential debate. As far as I know, Donald Trump is not going to attend. I think he should, but he's not going to attend. His feeling is that I'm so far ahead in the polls. If I show up, I'll have a target on my back, and they'll just spend the next 90 minutes just attacking me. Well, that may be true, but he's not going to be there. All the candidates should make very strong. Well, it all depends on what kind of question is asked, but if they have an opportunity to just speak, not all of these candidates should make strong pro-life statements. They need to say that they uphold and support and defend the Dobbs decision, that states have the right to decide abortion policies in their states. They should also uphold the sanctity of human life, defend the rights of the unborn. We need clear and concise statements by these candidates that they will uphold the right to life. We need that. We do need that. Okay, number 4. There's a new CDC director. I wasn't aware of that. And it's a woman. She's a physician. She's got some kids. And the fact that she has 2 children, for her, is a plus. Because she says protecting abortion was on her list of priorities. Quote, "I'm so disappointed that we are here having this conversation to revisit whether or not women should have access to health care when they need it." Unquote. So, the Center for Disease Control, they sure made a big splash during COVID, but this woman is making this argument that all the liberals have been making, that abortion is healthcare. Abortion is healthcare. And for who? For who? Abortion is not healthcare for the unborn child that is going to be murdered. It does not give that child any kind of bodily autonomy. No healthcare for that baby. It's only for the mother. So, it's kind of selective thinking here. And also the Supreme Court ruled in Dobbs that I'm not a constitutional scholar, so I may be wrong about this, but for my reading of Dobbs is that the justices basically said, we're taking the issue of abortion out of the hands of the federal government, and we're going to give this issue back to the states. So it's not a federal policy per se. It's a state issue. And for her to say that it's one of her priorities, well, the Supreme Court kind of said that it's not really in the purview of the federal government. And I'm not sure if the CDC is a wing of the Department of Health and Human Services. I don't know that. I'm assuming it is. But states decide through their elective representatives. Okay. Last item. And we've talked about this several months ago, but Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville, I think before I referred to him as Tuberville, I think it's Tuberville. So forgive me, Senator, if I've mispronounced your name. But months ago, he was able to, and he has been able to block about 200 to 300 military officers from promotions. As in many jobs, you get promoted up the line from lieutenant to captain to major to colonel to general, or in the Navy, you move up from lieutenant to captain to lieutenant commander on your way up. You have these promotions, and that's been a part of the Department of Defense for centuries. It has been. And Senator Tuberville has blocked these promotions from being approved by the full Senate. Now, why is he doing this? Months ago, the Biden administration decided after Dobbs that service members and or their spouses, if they are stationed in a state that has banned abortion, like let's say Oklahoma, if that service member or spouse is pregnant and wants an abortion, that the federal government will pay the woman to travel to a state where she can get her abortion. So and probably cover her not just the travel expenses, but maybe a hotel room, her food per diem. There's other things besides just an airfare or gas mileage. But the taxpayers would be paying for a woman to travel from Oklahoma to, say, New Mexico to have an abortion. And he is saying, no, tax dollars should not be used to underwrite what he has referred to as like an abortion tourism industry. So that's where that stands, and that's an ongoing issue. And Democratic senators are pulling their hair out because this man is blocking colonels from being promoted to general, and so on. And his argument is, and it's a simple argument, I will release these names for promotion if you cancel the policy. Compromise on the issue, Joe Biden. Compromise. Say, no, we're not going to use tax dollars. If a service member wants to get an abortion, she's got to pay for it herself and go to a different state. But the taxpayers shouldn't have to fund it. And as of right now, the Biden people are digging in their heels. No, we are not going to give up. This is something we are going to do. We are going to pay for their abortions. And Tuberville is saying, we can have the promotions tomorrow. Just cancel the taxpayer funding for these trips. Just cancel the policy. Just cancel it. So we're still in an impasse. He's not moving. The Biden administration is not moving. So I'm not sure how much longer this is going to last, but apparently, by the way the Senate rules are structured, if one senator opposes certain promotions, that he can stop it. And you have to have 100 senators in agreement to get this issue before the Senate to make their vote. And he's digging in his heels. And thank God for Senator Tuberville, who was standing up for life in a very tangible way. And shame on President Biden and the Department of Defense for imposing this on the taxpayers. So remember, November 8, 2023, Lansing, Michigan, March for Life. We have buses, and more information will be coming out in our newsletter and an email contact. The event begins, I believe, at 11 o'clock with speeches and a rally, and then at noon, from noon to 1, is an actual march. And I'm not really sure if we're marching around the Capitol building like Joshua marched around Jericho. I'm not sure where we're marching, but there will be a 1-hour march after a 1-hour rally. So be looking for that. If you get our Right to Life newsletter, and maybe through your church, maybe we're going to be getting sign-up sheets. So be looking for that in the next few weeks. With that, I will let you go, and I will see you next time.